It's always been true that no one cares more about your money than you do. Two Canadian Golden Girls are on a mission to help women of all ages and stages align their financial stars. Laura McDonald and Susan Meisner are the founders of GoldenGirlFinance.ca. Laura is a communications strategist and brand consultant. Susan is a wealth management advisor with a degree in economics. Their Girls' Guide to Saving, Investing, and Building Wealth at Every Age and Life Stage is called It's Your Money, Honey. It is my pleasure to welcome the Golden Girls to Studio 4 to tell us more. Well, it's nice to have money, honey, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And how did you two meet?
Oh, well, we talk about it in the book, but we knew each other about 10 years ago, so we're double dates sort of thing, and then lost touch, and about 6-7 years later, all of a sudden I had 3 kids, Susan had 2, and we're in the same ballet class, and you know, that faint recognition, and find out we live on the same street. So from there, just led to the development of our digital property, Golden Girl Finance, and the book, It's Your Money, Honey.
So it was kismet.
It was.
Same street, all girls.
Yeah.
Did you learn about money, how to save money, manage money, and invest when you were young?
I did. My parents were, you know, always great savers. They were very financially responsible, and I learned those lessons very early. And going through high school, I always knew that I wanted to be in the investment business. I always knew that I wanted to be a financial advisor. You know, financial independence was always very important to me, and it was always a goal of mine. And it became my life's passion to really help others achieve financial independence as well.
Well, as you know, in my generation, we thought the prince would come. Well, we were all raised on Cinderella, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty.
Someone will come along and take care of you eventually once they spit you out of the home.
Well, I'm the opposite of Susan, so what we're trying to do with this and with our website is bring sort of the insider and outsider's take to finance. So I married when I was 23 years old, which in this day and age is, you know, pretty young, and I didn't have any financial knowledge, and my husband was a little bit older, left that up to him. So I became a woman who was this smart, educated woman who was leaving all of that discussion and up to my husband and intimidated by investment talk, and you know, so it was really that said, how do we get, there's a lot of women like me, so how do we get them to get more engaged in the discussion of finance, to go beyond penny pinching and focus on wealth creation?
Sure.
And if it's compelling to both of us, we know we've done our job.
Well, as Simone de Beauvoir said, financial freedom is the first freedom. So where should we start? Well, at every age you have to start somewhere, but there are basics about building wealth. Where do you begin? RRSP, saving 10%, what?
Absolutely. I mean, I think savings is the single most important thing that you can start doing. And, you know, I like to say to a lot of young women, you know, in your 20s and 30s, it's really important to make savings a priority because, you know, it's the best time. You know, you have to save less because you have more time, really. And so I always say, you know, don't waste that time. But it is never too late. So, you know, savings is key.
Well,
Even if you're not making much.
Right.
Yeah,
The wealthy barber tells
For
us.
sure, and there's even sometimes we've had some readers tell us a story about how this one reader actually won 2 cars. Now, that doesn't obviously happen to everybody, but what do you do with that? She ended up keeping one and giving one to her mother, but if she looked at it from a different perspective at a young age, if she had sold them, invested them, you know, put a down payment on a first home when she was in her mid-20s, that home appreciated in value, had a bigger down payment for the next home. It's really taking advantage of little windfalls in life, being smart about that from early on to build wealth over time.
Well, it does feel good to be asleep and think that there's money somewhere being made on your money.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like you're just sleeping and somehow you've invested in the right spot and somebody's going to send you a check in a couple days.
Well, that's the great thing about money is that you can multiply it. You can have your money work for you, which I think is key because we're all so, you know, busy in our lives and we're working for our money. But when you save that money and you create a legacy, that money starts to work for you.
Exactly. And I know fear of risk is a big fear. And we've all, well, I don't know if you have, but we've all plunked it down on a penny stock or something, most of us, and lost. And sometimes not lost, but you have to have a few bumps to get it.
Oh yeah, I definitely think so. And I think getting engaged in the stock market, that's something that a lot of women aren't doing. I mean, they are going with conservative investments, and that's a good thing. But I understand that the stock market, how it works, and that you affect the stock market with your everyday purchases, and it revolves around you. We always like to say, like, you can own Lululemon the pants, but you can own Lululemon the stock, the company.
Yes,
you know?
and that makes sense. Own both.
Yeah, I mean, look at what you're...
I buy enough pants there.
I'm thinking, we're helping, but you also say, and it's a Warren Buffett school of investing, buy what you know.
Yes,
or invest in what you know.
Yeah, we actually have a great example in the book talking about, because sometimes women have often been described as maybe risk averse, which I think is maybe a bit of a stereotype that I have a problem with. I think women are very risk aware, and if they really think about it, they're going into Starbucks every day, that's a publicly traded company, or Tim Hortons, that's a publicly traded company, or Coach. They're interacting with publicly traded companies all the time, their bank. So it's a great basis for understanding the stock market. You understand what you like, you understand how the customer service is, you understand the different products and services, when your friends drop them. So it's a great preliminary research to fully understand and
follow the trends, and to have a good broker who also helps you with that is good. Make friends with the broker, make friends with your banker.
I was going to say, it's not about becoming you don't have to be a financial expert yourself, and you can do it yourself, and investing certainly exists, but you also want to work with knowledgeable professionals, and I think where we see a lot of women is not forming those relationships with a financial advisor, an accountant, a lawyer, and they need to form these relationships now, so that come if they get a divorce later on, if they have a child later on, that you're
and it's as you know, making money is not necessarily a gender issue, but women have the babies, so we work shorter usually.
Exactly.
Yep.
We live longer.
Absolutely. So, and typically, whether it's being out of the workforce for children, or, in this day and age, the sandwich generation is going to be caring for both children and parents or aunts and uncles. And women are really bearing the economic cost of that because they're out of the workforce. When they get back in, they're not making as much money. And, which is really important, that they need to really focus on their own wealth creation and shoring that up for themselves.
Exactly. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I was a single mother, but I know what that takes.
Right.
Well, I think
money.
Yeah, it's not easy. Single mothers are amazing.
I've been an entrepreneur throughout my life through various entrepreneurial efforts, but I notice with women, because you're often at home with a baby, you'll start a business, but it's often such a lifestyle-driven business. Maybe you're making something for children out of your basement, and that's a great thing, but it's very hard to build these businesses into market-driven businesses and, raise capital for those businesses. And, being an entrepreneur, that's a huge portal to wealth creation, but you have to build the right kind of business.
Exactly,
really
and we tend to, I don't know, we're generalizing, I know, but we think, I have this great idea, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would ever work. Where do you start with that? So you have an idea, you want to make jams, and sell the jams you're making in the basement, or something further out. I just read about these two girls in California who are doing a juice business, Juice Aplenty or something. Well, now all the movie stars are drinking Juice Aplenty or something like that.
Yeah,
they just made Vanity Fair magazine.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Free advertising.
Well, I mean, just like in the investing world, the basis of on the business side is almost the same thing. It's like, do your market research and have a good plan, because you want to be able to understand the market. You want to understand what the opportunities are, what is the market opportunity, and as we like to say, the golden opportunity, and and then create that plan so that you have where you're starting and where to get to.
I read an article not long ago that said we're more likely to talk about sex than we are about money.
Oh,
it's almost easier if somebody says, how's your love life? You might reveal, how's your money life?
We do talk about that. That's very true. And even I think 10 years ago, the #1 topic between mothers and daughters was still marriage, and now it's money. So that's a great thing. People are being more open and talking about it. But you want to talk about even salaries. It's good to know what other
women are making,
your counterparts are earning, so you can ask for more.
Exactly. And I think you say in here in It's Your Money, Honey, if the world is my oyster, where is the pearl?
Yes.
Hello.
Right.
I know it takes hard work and all of that, but it also takes smart cookies. It takes us to take control and to not think that our family's going to leave us money, or we're going to meet the Baron who will take us away on the Learjet.
Well, I'd be very cautious.
If you do, great.
Yeah, great.
But what if you want to leave the Baron on the Learjet? Then you need money in the bank to do that.
Yeah,
a prenup,
money is opportunity, it's possibility. You need to take responsibility and just start getting engaged.
Sure. What kind of reaction do you have to all of this from girls on site and women on site? What are their fears today? Retirement, what?
Well, I think for a lot of women today, sure, retirement is, the younger girls, I'm not sure, are thinking about that yet, but we want to change that. I think
you should.
Yeah, I mean,
because I know I didn't ever think about it, and I've always been a contractor and all of that, and then as you get closer, you think, oh, where's my company pension?
Well, the biggest asset is time, right, when you're younger. So, and like I said earlier, saving is a great basis, so make that a habit, commit to it, and know that you're going to do it for the rest of your life, because you can build up that nest egg.
Which doesn't mean you have to take the government job, but there are some perks.
We still see a lot of debt questions too. I mean, that's definitely still on everyone's mind, looking to save a home, to buy a home, but still have so much debt, and how to get past that.
So first and foremost, you suggest get out of debt, pay off the mortgage, what?
Well, we suggest a dual strategy, and our experts in the book and ourselves agree that, while you're paying off debt, you should also be saving, so that you can build that emergency fund, that you can have that security. So you're doing both, because I think that's really important. So if something happens, you have that emergency fund that you can rely on. So.
And you deal in here with simple things like the car you drive. It's great to drive the Jaguar or the Ferrari, but maybe a Hyundai
Yeah, well, you know, that's
makes more sense.
That's one of the biggest rules, and I think, you know, we are all so focused on credit card debt, and everybody focuses on credit card debt, but nobody really talks about car debt. And it's one of the things that really can tip people over, because, you know, we've been trained, and the car companies have been great at, you know, convincing us it's a monthly payment.
Right.
But, you know, one of our golden rules in the book is, you know, if you can't afford to finance your car over 3 years, you can't afford the car.
Okay. And that's a debt expert through our site.
Lease or buy?
Well, actually, she says, this is Stephanie Holmes Winton is her name. She's a foremost debt expert, contributed to this book, and that's, if you're going to buy it, definitely be able to buy it out over 3 years. And lease it, look for the same, so that your payments thereafter, what you're saving thereafter, you can put towards savings and for new purchases.
Right, and most cars go down in value. You buy something, it goes down in value. It does. There's the odd investment car, but you're putting money into something that goes down.
Absolutely.
So buy art.
Yeah, or I mean, anything that will appreciate.
Exactly.
You know, so car is a depreciating asset, and you know, a lot of people are going out and buying $50,000 cars. Well, if you think about taking $50,000 and putting it into something that would grow and pay you dividends, you know, when you actually think about that amount of money, then you need to think about that.
And if you're a car lover and the day comes when you have the money in the bank, then you can drive the Ferrari. Why not?
Why not?
How nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you. From Winnipeg, the Golden Girls, Laura McDonald and Susan Meisner, It's Your Money, Honey. And coming up, Chow Chow Lemon Chest.